against racism is doing a small action out here today regarding COVID, specifically related to black and brown people and indigenous people that are the most vulnerable during this pandemic. And if you actually look at the numbers as well as those that are involved in essential workers areas, a large percentage are people of black and brown of color that are in those categories. It's also been an underserved community as far as vaccinations go, and people are dying. They're out here today, basically, making a statement, getting signatures on a petition that's going to be going out to Biden, so to D.C., basically demanding that action be taken, that it's unacceptable that some of the most vulnerable in our society, in our community, are not getting the vaccinations that they need during something which is a global pandemic, and people dying left and right. So I'm going to go ahead and be streaming this for a little bit. And then later on tonight, I'm going to be heading on down to Stonewall, where another action is going to be taking place. It's their normal Thursday night action. But for right now, I'm going to be over here. I want to thank you for tuning in. You do have, I believe, NBC or New York One over here, so you should see something on the news later tonight also regarding that. Again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Ladies, gentlemen, they, them, her, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Also, there's a link in the description. If you want to help support the live stream and other media work, if you can make a $1 or $3 donation monthly, click on the link there, and it'll take you to the page. And like I said, if $1 or $3, if you have 100 people donating $1, that's $100 a month that I can budget out in terms of doing live stream, other media work that I haven't necessarily had a chance to do for a number of reasons recently. But every dollar does count. So, thanks. So this isn't a protest per se. I'm going to take a look at what they're doing on the table up front as soon as the interview is done up here. Because right now, Nate's getting interviewed by one of the reporters, the news stations. So you actually have two out here. You do have NBC, and I believe NBC. But could be CBS. I think the Peacock. If they still use the Peacock. Yeah, I go back to the day when they really did have the Peacocks out here. So, yeah, it's definitely a good thing. And I always try to give the other media their space when they're doing it. Just a little respect on that part. Okay, guys.
How many people die today? The richest country, USA. How many people die today? The richest country, USA. How many people die today? The richest country, USA. How many people will die today? The richest country, USA. How many people will die today? The richest country, USA. How many people will die today? The richest country, USA. How many people will die today? The richest country, USA. How many people will die today? All right.
And it's true. A lot of you have heard how Cuomo is refusing to release the second doses of the vaccine.
Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this people. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer.
Gotta love it.
Hey! Welcome to this emergency demo! People from the street, people from the avenue, come and join us. We have hand sanitizer, we have masks, we have hand warmers, we have a clipboard if you can sign up. We have people who answer your questions. We have a mic if you want to speak about what we're talking about today. So thank you to the folks that have came out. Moving with me. Thank you. So thank you for the folks that came out today. So this action is put on by the Workers Assembly Against Racism, and it's also co-hosted by PPA, People's Power Assemblies NYC. So for folks who don't know, the reason we're out here is that it's an emergency. Black and brown folks are dying the most from COVID, are suffering the highest rates of infection. But who's getting the vaccine?
White folks from New Jersey.
Rich folks. Rich folks coming from all over.
1%.
Can't say just 1%, but they are leading the charge. But so we're here to demand that Cuomo and Biden get these vaccines out to black and brown communities, also disabled communities, and all of those intersections, and also indigenous folks.
Working women.
Oh, sorry. I have more things I want to say. But we'll start chatting for a little bit, and then we'll start at 5:30. And then afterwards, if you're interested, folks on the street, you will see barcodes on the placards, on the green and yellow placards. You can scan them, sign up for these organizations, and then you'll learn more about us. And be on the ground, involved in on the ground grassroots organizing.
Yeah.
Okay. Black and brown folks died the most. We're all the first vaccine dose. Black and brown folks died the most. We're all the first vaccine dose. Black and brown folks died the most. We're all the first vaccine dose. Black and brown folks died the most. We should get the first vaccine dose. Black and brown folks died the most. We're all the first vaccine dose. Black and brown folks died the most. We're all the first vaccine dose. Black and brown folks died the most. We're all the first vaccine dose.
Black and brown folks died the most.
We're all the first vaccine dose.
Hi everyone. Announcements. I don't know if this is an announcement, but my name is Joan, and I'm with the Workers Assembly Against Racism.
And my name is Terry, and I'm with PPA NYC and the Workers Assembly Against Racism.
Yeah, we're out here for a lot of reasons, mostly to demand right now of Cuomo and the people who have the power to make it so that black and brown folks need to get the vaccine right now. Right here, right now. There's no more waiting. 500,000 deaths and counting in this country. That's the biggest tragedy, at least in my lifetime, that I can think of. I want to offer my love and condolences to everybody who has lost a loved one here. Yeah, there aren't enough words to describe the pain of that, the injustice and the pain. Everyone knows the vaccine rollout has been a complete shit show, a disaster. We can all see the absolute lack of planning. But I find myself wondering, does everybody know that it didn't have to be this way? That it doesn't have to be this way? It's true. I think the evidence is crystal clear at this point, 10, 11 months in, however, into this pandemic. Our biggest obstacle in overcoming the pandemic is capitalism. Yeah. We're going to talk a lot more about what's happening right here in our communities because that's the focus of this action. But the countries in the global north, the U.S., Canada, Britain, have bought up enough vaccines to vaccinate their citizens more than 5 times over. And meanwhile, poorer countries will only be able to vaccinate 1 in every 10 people this year. So the imperialism of the rich countries stealing and hoarding from poor countries, we see that white supremacy exists throughout the world. So we need international solidarity. Yeah. China, Cuba, Russia, these are not our enemies, people. They are not. Our enemies are right here. Cuomo is the enemy. Lobbying interests are our enemy. Big Pharma is our enemy. Even Joe Biden, sorry, but he's an enemy. So here's your daily reminder. Money and profits will never outweigh the value of human life. And the cost of a life-saving vaccine should not be a concern to people. Okay? So something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Okay? Dying get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Something's wrong with this picture. People are dying and the rich get richer. Who's getting richer? Pfizer, Moderna, these lobbying interests. Johnson, Big Pharma is getting richer. Pfizer and Moderna didn't develop the vaccines, y'all. The scientists did. The workers did. The workers did everything. They deserve all the credit, but get none. These pharma companies, if you forgot how evil they were before all of this, they're regularly raising the cost of cancer treatment and would sue for exclusive rights to essential insulin and other essential medications. These are the very companies that have raked in billions in profits now throughout the pandemic. All of the risk in the development of these vaccines was socialized, and all of the rewards went as profit to the pharma companies. So they're not our saviors. They're predatory, quite evil entities that treat human lives as way secondary to profit. And the politicians, Cuomo, all you Cuomo sexuals out there, that's really cringy, first of all. And also, the politicians are in bed with these very companies. Big Pharma, they're among lawmakers' favorite stocks. Cuomo definitely has blood on his hands. And, oh my gosh, this statistic about state and local health departments had worked for years planning for mass vaccination, but Cuomo tore them all up, ignoring his own task force, and instead he got together with hospital executives, consultants, and top hospital lobbyists in closed-door meetings and the ones who donated to his campaign, and made sure that his donors got even richer. Shame and a crime. Here's another chance. The vaccine lobby has paid Cuomo off. He won't be happy till we all start to cough. Vaccine lobby has paid Cuomo off. He won't be happy till we all start to cough. The vaccine lobby has paid Cuomo off. He won't be happy until we all start to cough. The vaccine lobby has paid Cuomo off. He won't be happy till we all start to cough. Okay, so we're here because this is a life or death issue. We have to fight like our lives depend on it because they do. And we're gonna keep up our chants. We're gonna keep hearing from speakers who have more to say about this, those who are personally affected. So let's keep going. Are we moving right now? In the richest country, USA, how many people will die today? The richest country, USA, how many people will die today? The richest country, USA, how many people will die today? Country, USA, how many people will die today? Richest country, USA, how many people will die today?
Yeah.
Who would like to take the mic and say a few words about this crisis? We should be screaming like our hair's on fire. 500,000 deaths, mostly black and brown, disproportionately black, brown, and poor. Larry! Woo!
You know, when it comes to getting too much police attention, getting beaten up, having your community occupied, black and brown people always go first. When it comes to taking people to jail, in the industrial prison complex, black and brown people go first. When it comes to laying people off, black and brown people go first. And when it comes to this vaccination, where is it? Our communities are suffering. Everybody knows that. Every report that comes out, not just in New York, in every part of the country, all over the country, black and brown communities are not getting this vaccination. If you are rich and white, you are getting vaccinated. And that is the fact. And we have got to raise so much hell to demand that our communities, black and brown communities, be prioritized. It's easy for them to do it. They've got billions of dollars, all kinds of experts. There's absolutely no rational reason for black and brown communities not to be saturated with this vaccination, and for that matter, not to have the greatest health care available to human beings. But we know why. Racism. And this is one you can't blame on Trump. Trump's gone. You got a Democratic president. You got Como, a Democratic governor. You got a Democratic mayor. This is on them.
Right.
Let me just wind up by saying this. No sense in getting sad about it. Get mad about it. Don't get sad about it, get mad about it. And take that mad, that anger, and do something about it. I applaud all of you who came out today. Because what you're saying is that I'm mad and I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to let other people know. That's what you call empowerment.
Right.
And the more of you that realize that making yourself empowered by joining others and fighting back instead of being lonely, sad, and doing nothing. Empowerment is the answer.
Right.
We demand immediate, comprehensive, prioritized vaccination of black and brown people.
Right.
Thank you, Larry.
Right.
Somebody take back here. Thank you. We're going to start reading facts after I speak, and then after we read the facts, we're going to invite more people to speak. So, again, my name is Terry Mitchell from Workers Assembly Against Racism and People's Power Assemblies NYC. So I don't have my phone. I left it on the charger, so I'm just going to be trying to speak from what I remember from my notes. So, I'm mad, but I'm also grieving. I lost another family member yesterday to COVID. I lost 3 last year. and I lost one yesterday. I lost 6 neighbors in my building, well, 5 neighbors and 2 workers in the building where I live. So when I'm out here speaking, I'm mad as hell, I'm numb, I'm grieving, but most of all, I just feel this rage coming out of me. When I see what the hell is going on, and people want to use the excuse, well, black folks are leery of taking the virus. No, we should be goddamn leery of taking any vaccination. We've been experimented on, treated like animals, enslaved. This government never gave a reason for us to trust it. And in reality, the government is responsible for the care of all its citizens. But this white supremacist, patriarchal, capitalist system ensures that those at the top who are white, wealthy at the top, and then top down, it just supports white supremacy, it supports sexism, it supports ableism, it supports LGBTQ oppression. All of the communities that are not eligible for the vaccine. And I heard people say to me, well, it's the essential workers who are the medical staff, who are the law enforcement, and law enforcement don't wear their fucking masks, so they shouldn't be getting any vaccines. They should be in the last goddamn group to get any vaccinations. And people say, well, it's those groups first. And I'm like, who do you think controls the power structure? Who do you think upholds the power structure? Who do you think is going to be in those positions? It's not indigenous black or brown folks of color. It's going to be white folks, because that's the way structurally this system has been built upon white supremacy, to support white folks and their privilege. So the rollout was all kinds of fucked up in New York State anyway. As Joan has pointed out, state and the city officials had a mass vaccination plan, and Cuomo scrapped it to give money and to give the vaccine distribution to his cronies who contributed to his campaigns for governor.
Oh!
And Cuomo, and since the pandemic has been going down in his administration, 9 health officials have left because he doesn't follow their recommendations. They had a plan to address vaccinating the communities that were devastated in the city and the state by COVID-19.
What did they do with that?
They didn't do anything with the plan. They all left because he wouldn't institute the plan. He didn't trust the health officials. So Cuomo speaks out of both sides of his mouth.
Right.
He claims he's not going to be vaccinated until every black and brown person has been vaccinated, but then he fires or causes his health officials to leave because he won't follow their plan so that those communities can be vaccinated.
Right.
I mean, when I found this out, it's disgusting. Cuomo is disgusting.
Cuomo, you can't hide.
How many people have to die?
Cuomo, you can't hide. How many people have to die?
You can't hide. How many more will have to die? So when I read this statistic, it just shocked me. I'm going to be sprinkling statistics out as we have this action. So, more people, these are white folks, have been vaccinated from either out of state or other parts of New York than all of the people of color in all the 5 boroughs. More people from other parts of the state or from out of state have been vaccinated than the black, Latino, and indigenous folks who have been vaccinated in all the 5 boroughs.
That ain't right.
Whoa.
That ain't
racism.
So we're going to have the facts, and we'll go into that, but that just shocked me.
Right.
All of those groups combined in the 5 boroughs weren't vaccinated as much as people from somewhere else. People coming into poorer communities in Harlem, in the Bronx, getting vaccinated, and the folks that live there, the folks that have been dying there. The Bronx has been the hardest hit borough. Other neighborhoods that are black and brown in Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, have been devastated. But those folks in those communities can't get it, and it's outrageous. Cuomo should be run out of office.
That's right.
That's right.
So we're going to read the facts, and then we're going to open it up for other speakers. Do we have volunteers who would like to hold the facts? We need about 5 people. We need 5 volunteers.
I don't remember. All right, we'll find it. There's only one place.
5 volunteers?
Okay. No, I've been there, and I have some from
So we need 5 volunteers. And the way this goes is that someone will read the facts, probably Carissa or Joan, since I'm visually impaired. And then once they read them, you can turn it over. And it goes fact 1, fact 2, fact 3, fact 4, fact 5. We were going to plan a march, but because of the snow, and because there's another action tonight, people are going to be headed down to Stonewall. So if you're interested, you can head down there as well. Again, I want to remind folks that on these green and yellow placards, there's a barcode you can scan to sign up for these organizations. There's people coming around handing out flyers, and we have a clipboard if you would like to come up and sign. If you're interested, the workers are simply against racism or PPA. And we also have an event coming up February 20th. To support the Alabama strikers led by black women in Alabama. They're Amazon workers, and they're trying to unionize. And for folks that know the history of black folks unionizing, especially in the South, you know how dangerous that is. People were killed, people were lynched, along with the other indignities they had to endure under Jim Crow. So let's come out February 20th. Right now, the tentative date is going to be a national day of actions across the country to support these Amazon workers that live in Alabama. So again, if you would like a flyer, please come up to us, one of us, Clarissa in the red hat. If you also would like to speak, see Clarissa in the red hat. She's tallish and all in black, and she has on a dark teal colored jacket. Oh, come. The facts are yours. Oh. You know how to do this? Pardon that in. So. Use the fact and the deal.
All right, so let's try this as a mic check. So I'm going to read like a little bit of it, and then everybody says it together, okay? All right? Fact 1.
Fact 1.
Black and Latinx New Yorkers have died from COVID
Black and Latinx New Yorkers have died from COVID
at twice the rate of white New Yorkers.
at twice the rate of white New Yorkers.
They are more likely to be essential workers,
They are more likely to be essential workers,
have pre-existing medical conditions,
have pre-existing medical conditions,
live in crowded housing,
live in crowded housing,
or lack access to medical care, all risk factors for COVID-19.
or lack access to medical care, all risk factors for COVID-19.
Fact 2.
Fact 2.
New York City is
New York City is
24% black. Latino residents are eligible.
Even Black and Latino residents are eligible.
They aren't getting vaccinated.
They aren't getting vaccinated.
The state and city decided
The state and city decided
to use a largely online-based system for making appointments.
to use a largely online-based system for making appointments.
Even though 500,000 households in New York City
Even though 500,000 households in New York City
lack internet access.
lack internet access.
Fact 4.
Fact 4.
Venmo has ignored the opinions
Cuomo has ignored the opinion
of public health experts,
of public health experts,
choosing to organize vaccination programs through lobbying groups,
choosing to organize vaccination programs through lobbying groups,
like the Greater New York Hospital Association,
like the Greater New York Hospital Association,
who donate to his campaign.
who donates to his campaign.
Fact 5.
Fact 5.
Black and brown New Yorkers
Black and brown New Yorkers
living in poverty are competing for appointments
living in poverty are competing for appointments
with wealthier residents
with wealthier residents
who have the time, resources, and technical savvy
who have the time, resources, and technical savvy
to secure a slot
to secure a slot,
despite having a lower risk of infection.
despite having a lower risk of infection.
This is the case even at city-sponsored sites.
This is the case even at city-sponsored sites,
62% of which,
62% of which,
according to city officials,
according to city officials,
are in vulnerable communities.
are in vulnerable communities.
Fact 6.
Fact 6.
This is not an isolated incident.
This is not an isolated incident.
Across the country, the wealthy are getting more vaccines.
Across the country, the wealthy are getting more vaccines.
Globally, wealthier countries with 16% of the population
Globally, wealthier countries with 16% of population
have purchased 60% of available vaccines.
have purchased 60% of available vaccines.
This drives up profits for pharmaceutical companies
This drives up profits for pharmaceutical companies
and leaves poorer countries unvaccinated.
and leaves poor countries unvaccinated.
African Union countries have 1.23 billion people,
African Union countries have 1.23 billion people,
but access to just 270 million doses.
but access to just 270 million doses.
Fact 7.
Fact 7.
Exclusive manufacturing contracts
Exclusive manufacturing contracts
increase profits
increase profits
but restrict supply.
but restrict supply.
Global cooperation
Global cooperation
to increase vaccine production is urgently needed.
to increase vaccine production
Is urgently needed.
is urgently needed.
For example,
For example,
Cuba is preparing to produce
Cuba is preparing to produce
100 million doses
100 million doses
to distribute in Vietnam,
to distribute in Vietnam,
Venezuela,
Venezuela,
Iran,
Iran,
and other countries.
and other countries.
I don't know about you, but is Cuba even close to as rich as the United States? No, I don't think so. Here's a really cool chant. Let's see if we can get it going. China, Cuba, Vietnam.
China, Cuba, Vietnam.
COVID there is nearly gone.
COVID there is nearly gone.
USA, EU, UK.
USA, EU, UK.
Your mass death is A-OK.
Your access is A-OK.
China, Cuba, Vietnam.
China, Cuba, Vietnam.
COVID there is nearly gone.
COVID there is nearly gone.
USA, EU, UK.
USA, EU, UK.
Your mass death is
I'm going to head out, guys, but I just want to ask Nate a quick question. Nate, if anybody wants to plug in that isn't here and can't scan the code from here,
Go to shutdownracism.org. Shutdownracism.org, or find Shutdown Racism on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The handle is Shutdown Racism. Website shutdownracism.org.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Karma.
Okay, guys, I'm going to take this down. They're going to be down there later. It's Stonewall, but I have to run down there because I have to scope out the whole area, anything, just to logistically see what NYPD is doing. You got 3 over here, and at least like 8 or 7 across the street for this small group. So I'm just curious to see what the presence is going to be downtown. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm heading out, heading down there to Stonewall. I will be back up later once I get down there. Again, if you want to help out, support the live stream. If you've been watching over the, last 7 years, last 5 years, last 4 years, you want to make a donation, $1, $3, links in the description, $1 a month, $3 a month. It adds up and it really helps. Solidarity forever. See you guys later.